No countdowns.
Don't slam shit on my table.
You coming on Saturday, Brian?
Don't throw shit at my neighbor.
Chunky, you coming on Saturday?
Fuck
You coming on
No, I
Saturday?
can't come on Saturday.
Bitch. Coming Saturday?
You thought that was today.
I thought pizza was today also.
No.
I'm gonna get started. You ready?
Dip my balls in $1,000 dress.
Because I got
Because I got the bitch. Put my dick
ready?
in a bag of Doritos.
I'm just gonna start. I don't care if you guys are
That's not
laughing.
the dick.
It'll be entertaining. Okay.
That's the fucking bitch. Dick.
Are we
Fucking
composed?
sure. Kind of.
Okay.
It's not gonna fucking help. It's gonna make him laugh even harder.
He's right.
Okay.
He's right.
I'm gonna start.
Go ahead.
Hey, Stub Clubbers. I'm Jennifer. I'm Amanda.
I'm Brian.
I'm Jimmy.
Mike's behind the camera because he's an idiot.
Anyways, we are here to do a video that has been a big, huge discussion, no matter who you are, because right now the movie industry and TV industry, the streaming industry is all bombarded with reboots and live actions that are reboots, basically. So we're going to talk about that because, of course, we always have strong opinions on that, like, oh my god, I can't believe they're turning this into a reboot or live action. Then you got the people who are like, no, like, furious. So when it comes to this stuff, comes to a point where it's either you're really excited
Doctor?
or you're really pissed off
Doctor.
yeah, that they are doing these reboots.
For me, it all depends.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. It really all does depend.
It really depends on the movie.
Or because then it even goes with the TV show stuff too. There are so many TV shows that are being rebooted where it's either it's considered a reunion or they just fully blown out, do a whole nother season or several more.
I think so. Looking through reboots and all that stuff, I think they're most commonly in horror movies.
Yeah.
If you look through the pantheon, there's not really too many anymore original horror movies. Like the past couple years, the biggest horror movies has been It, which is a reboot of the, what was it, 94?
I believe it was 93 Tim Curry.
93 Tim Curry movie with Bill Skarsgård, which is really good. And then we also have the reboot with the most recent Halloween, which is continuing the story from the old one, but then we also had the Rob Zombies one, which were complete garbage in my opinion.
Chill.
You like those ones?
I haven't
I like
seen
the first
I've
one.
only seen the Rob Zombie one.
Really? Well, no, you saw the
the
newest
new,
one.
Well, the new one, yeah, but I'm talking about like the beginning story thing.
See,
Oops.
they basically, for me, because they basically ruined the story from him just being a psychopath to giving him a reason to be a psychopath. So there's reboots that like one of the reboots that I actually did enjoy was the new Friday the 13th movie. The newest Friday the 13th movie in 2009.
Oh.
And
Wow, we're 10 years after that.
Yeah, and I really like that one, but it didn't compare, but it's still a decent one.
What about Pet Cemetery recently?
I didn't see the Pet Cemetery.
I
Really?
liked that.
It
But
was
granted,
really good.
I did not see the old one, but I did really enjoy the new one.
That one almost jumped out
I
of
feel
the
like
seat.
horror remakes can be really good just because those kind of characters, they're evil, the characters of them have like the supernatural sense to them, so it makes sense that they can come back in a different time
Yeah.
setting. So it kind of, some of those, with the horror ones, I think it's easier to make a remake, or reboot those.
It's always easier to make horror movies because no matter what, it's always something chasing something. There's always some sort of evil.
Yeah.
It's easy to make something bad. Anything bad.
Another one that you see that was a reboot that nobody liked was the recent Ghostbusters one. I enjoyed the new Ghostbusters movie.
I did not see it.
The 2014 Ghostbusters, it was more along the lines of it's not situational comedy like how the original Ghostbusters was. This was more slapstick Ghostbusters, where they were doing more action instead of just pointing the reactors and going like this. there was new weapons. Like I think one of them punched a ghost. Like there's different things. It got horrible reviews just because it was a new Ghostbusters. There was also the thing about it being all women.
And then there's going to be another Ghostbusters.
There's going to be a Ghostbusters 3.
Another reboot, technically.
Isn't it going to be with a different cast than what was just the newest one?
No, it's going to have...
It's supposed to be the original.
Oh, it's supposed to be the original?
Yeah, so
Marie.
the women, they're
Except
not going to be
It's not going to be the new, the new reboot cast. It's going to be the actual old
It's
original
going to be
cast.
the original cast. They're just going to
is it?
reboot this.
Yeah.
They're just going to... They're not rebooting it. They're basically just bringing it back.
Isn't someone else supposed to be in it that's not from the original? That they're the one who put out the teaser trailer?
Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd is in the movie now.
Because the one guy passed away.
Yeah.
He
Go
has
Rangers.
his age, so he fits in.
So it's...
I should have tried to find this.
Reboots can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Personally, on my side, I like reboots. There's a lot of reboots that have been terrible.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of reboots that have been, I'd probably say, more popular than the original.
Like what?
I would say, now this is going to be controversial, I like the newer King Kong. Not the Kong Skull Island, the one from Peter Jackson.
Okay, I
The
like
Jack
that
Black.
one too.
Jack Black.
Jack Black King
I
Kong.
love Jack
Oh yeah,
Black.
I did too.
I enjoyed that one a lot, but
Yeah.
I did not see the old one.
The 1939 movie, or was, no, it was 33, I believe. 33 or 39, one of the two.
It was somewhere in that time.
It's a great movie, and it's historical for its time period because of what they did with all the stop motion animation, because everything was stop motion, and they actually built a 50-foot Kong to use when they released him into the city.
There's a difference between.
If you go to the Empire State Building, they have a King Kong thing there.
Yeah, I posted
Yeah.
on the stuff. Yeah, that was me.
There's a difference between remaking a movie that was with new technology versus remaking something that was only 10 years old or only not even that old in general. Less than 20 years old. Remaking something from when film was first coming out. That's something because technology has changed so much.
Yeah.
Like, I want a new House on Haunted Hill.
I want a new.
That's one of
Frankenstein.
the OG scary movies. And I'll be honest, like, as corny as it was, I still got a little scared.
See, then the crazy thing is that they did make a remake of it, a reboot of it, back in 2003,
When was that?
and it was
scary.
bombed.
Well, when
I
they
was-
do reboots and remakes of some of the old stuff, because you said the technology has advanced, they could really pull some stuff off that they couldn't years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess you can kind of call the special editions of Star Wars kind of reboots as well, because they're kind of putting in new stuff that wasn't there before. George Lucas is putting in the stuff that he couldn't in his first film, which is why I personally I'm okay with the special editions,
Yeah.
because George Lucas is actually making the movies that he wanted
Right.
instead of
Well, it's him deciding to reboot his movie. A lot of the remakes we're getting now are new directors, new producers. Might be the same company still, like Disney, but it's new people working on it. George Lucas is a special case because that's his baby.
Yeah.
But then you also have the argument where there's people who are really mad about the reboots because they are saying, leave the original alone. It was a classic. We don't want people touching it to mess it up. Not even to mess it up, just sometimes like they're saying that the original was so good that if you make another one and it bombs out, that it's crap. Leave the original one alone. And that's why there's so many people, like for example with Home Alone. That's when we originally kind of sparked this a little bit. I was trying to find, we posted on our Facebook page, and a couple of people actually commented on it. That's what I was trying to look for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they're saying it's true. It depends on what it is, but a lot of times they're saying leave certain stuff alone.
It's the nostalgia factor.
Which, that's all what it is right now with TV shows, everything.
Like, there's some stories that don't exactly, they'd have to change the story to make it work with the time. Like, when Home Alone first came out, a lot of the story was that they forgot the kid. There was no cell phones. They had to go through pay phones and actual landlines to try to get a hold of people. Now, kids Kevin McAllister's age have cell phones.
Yeah.
And they can be like, hey, Mom, you forgot me.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
that's what's so big is that people want to continue the old storylines. I know a lot of people would be like, huh? But For example, Gilmore Girls was one of them. Gilmore Girls was on the WB for a good number of years.
I remember that.
Netflix picked it up, and then they did it like 10 years after the show ended, and they did it where there was 4 sections, like 4 hour-and-a-half ones, and you bring all the cast back. That's what they're doing right now with Beverly Hills 90210. I never watched the original, but I'm watching this to see how they're doing it.
It's like what they did with Fuller House.
Yeah, did it with Fuller House. I want them to do Home Improvement so badly, but Wilson's dead. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
In the
Spoiler alert.
Wilson.
For real life, spoiler alert, that Wilson will.
But on Last Man Standing with Tim Allen, they bring in some of the cast members, which is awesome. But that's that thing right now. But some people say leave it alone. And that's why I guess the leave it alone, I guess I can segment that into the live action. Disney is on this huge kick right now where it's all that, every single thing under the sun. We're going to do live action. Live action, that's all they want to do now. And there are people who are so happy about it, like with how good Aladdin turned out. But then there's people that are like, then they're doing like Lady and the Tramp live action, and they're just doing all this different stuff that people then are saying, leave the live action, like don't do it.
There's things about the movies for Disney with the live action stuff that I can see why people don't want to have it is because with, like, going to the Jungle Book, because that was the first one, I think that was the first, no, they did Cinderella and then the Jungle Book, right?
Yep.
So it was Cinderella live action then Jungle Book.
I can't.
If I'm correct about that.
It was around the same time period.
Comment if we're wrong.
I want to see if they were going to change anything in the Jungle Book because that's one of my favorite Disney movies that I've ever seen, and they did, like because in the cartoon movie, Shere Khan doesn't die. Spoiler. In this one, he does. He gets taken out by a bunch of fire, which that also happens in the actual book itself.
Yeah. I feel like some of the live action remakes are trying to stick a little more true to the original story that they were based off of.
And sometimes turning Disney animation into live action is just, it gets kind of weird and wonky.
I saw pictures of Scar from the new Lion King movie. I didn't like his character design, if I'm being complete. I didn't see the movie. I can't say anything about the movie. I have no idea. I don't like his character design, personally. Because the original character design made him look sleek and evil. This one just made him look dirty.
Yeah. You're not
Taking
wrong.
to every clinic on every corner there. That was with Pumbaa though.
Alright, so you guys know how you mentioned that they've been on kind of a kick?
Yeah.
Their first one was in 1949 for a live action. And that was The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
That's right, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, and then there was, I know, the 101 Dalmatians we brought up, that was in the 90s,
Yeah.
which was really good.
And then you had in 1950 Cinderella Treasure Island, and 51 was Alice in Wonderland.
What was, because we're doing the most recent ones. Was there?
But he makes a good point though,
Oh, no,
that
he does.
it was something that was
Yeah,
going
it's
on years
almost
ago,
fun.
but now, that I have in my notes,
They're
it's
like-
almost like no one wants to take a risk anymore.
It's getting more
No
popular.
one wants to
So maybe
take that creative role in creating a new storyline, making new movies.
Yeah.
They're just going with, and they want to bank off of what they banked on in the 90s, or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When you think of
You know what
it.
would be really interesting? A live action Brave.
All the bears.
All the little bears.
Who would you... Wait, Brave as in the Scottish
Yeah,
princess.
the Scottish one.
Who would you have play her then?
Live
I don't know.
action
I'd have to,
Toy
like,
Story?
look into that.
Eh.
No, Toy Story would not work like
That would be
That's
creepy.
Oh, that's right. They did Alice in Wonderland. I forgot.
Yeah,
about
through the
Alice in
Looking Glass.
Wonderland. And the first one.
Well, yeah, the Alice in Wonderland.
Even though it was all Underland.
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird.
I didn't like that movie.
That gave me a migraine really bad. The colors and. That was trippy.
They're keeping it. The ones that I know of, like Cinderella, because I think that was when they started this whole kick with doing the live action ones, where
Back,
Jungle Book,
Yeah.
Aladdin, all that stuff.
Now it's out of control. Like, no joke. And
They're
it's
doing it
always,
all.
Oh, they're gonna do this. What was,
Lady and the Tramp.
Lady
is
the
the
Tramp,
newest
but there
one.
was one that they keep joking, talking about. I can't think of. There's been
Hercules.
so. Hercules, is that the one
Yeah.
about Ryan Reynolds? There's one that, and everyone's like, oh my god.
I don't remember. I
I
haven't heard the
think-
one of Ryan Reynolds, but
I think it might be.
There's too many that they're flinging around, and some of it has to do with also this Disney Plus, which you're gonna keep hearing us bring the Disney Plus up.
the big thing coming.
I'd say
that's
one of the-
another
sorry.
realm that's sorry.
Go
You go.
One of the worst reboots that I've seen from Disney was probably Pete's Dragon.
They remade
Yeah, they remade that.
I didn't see that one. I don't even know
I
how
haven't
well
seen
it
the
even
remake.
did, honestly.
I love the old one so much. I did not want to go see the remake, so I have not, honestly.
So you're a good example of just keep the old one.
Yeah.
I don't want to
There
see.
is-
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go.
I'm also one that doesn't want to see a different. I want to see a different take on the movie. If I'm just watching the same movie, like The Jungle Book had a couple different things in it.
Yeah.
We went and saw Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
Nothing was different.
Yes,
And
it
then-
was.
Well, they added to the story.
They added
actually
they
did.
added a little bit to the story,
Yeah.
but
They
there
added a little
wasn't.
more background.
There wasn't. But the overall arc of the story,
Yeah.
there was nothing different. The Jungle Book changed the end from the cartoon that everybody loves.
Yeah.
With Beauty and the Beast, it's basically the same arc. No matter which way you look at it, it keeps. No matter what, they're gonna have together.
Right.
That's the thing. If that's why I think the Jungle Book is a better example of a good reboot. If you look at Beauty and the Beast, that's an example of them just doing a shot-for-shot remake,
Right.
except they're using live actors.
So that's actually a perfect example because there is a group of people out there that are like you. If they're going to do the live action remake, they want them to add new stuff, change stuff up. But then there's the other side group that they want it exact. Like with The Lion King, when they opened it up, it was it was frame per frame. And then people, for example, with Mulan, they're all mad because they don't think that's what it's going to be. They took characters out, they're not putting songs in.
They're not putting the dragon in.
You
Thing is,
Mushu and
Yeah.
I forgot that.
the
that
Disney
was coming out.
fans, when they want the live action out, I think that's what they want. They want it to be no joke, coming straight off 2D animation onto the screen with actors and everything.
But with the Mulan one, the reason they're doing it that way is they're trying to keep it more culturally
Right.
accurate to her actual story because she was a fake, like, in their history, a real person.
Right.
They're trying to keep it more towards her visual story. That's why they took the songs out. They're still gonna have music in the
Right.
background. She's just not gonna be singing.
So that would be Brian's group. Brian's group is gonna love that, I think.
I'm gonna love it.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
I guess, but
It's
the
just-
people,
it's different.
the people who want straight off the page onto the screen, those are the ones who are complaining.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
I-
what it is.
Hi.
So which one do you want?
He's straight off the screen.
I want Mulan to be exactly straight from screen to screen. Cartoon to live
Same.
action. I want Mushu, damn it.
There's only one movie that I would say from the original Disney lexicon for the animated that I want to see from page to screen exactly, and literally the only thing that I want to see is The Emperor's New Groove.
Yes.
I'd be down
Yes.
with a live-action Emperor's New Groove.
I
and
mean,
Of all times, you're behind the camera, Mike.
I know, right?
You should pop in front and do that.
one live action that was really different, Dumbo. The
I didn't
Dumbo live
see that.
action.
it was Tim Burton. That's
It
why.
was, well, it was Tim Burton, but it was still
Mhm.
Disney.
Yeah.
And they gave a lot more background. They did a little bit more of the surroundings of Dumbo, not just him and the mouse. The animals didn't talk in this one, you know.
Mhm.
And they gave a little bit more actual story to it instead of just showing a flying elephant, you know.
It's almost like when they did the because there was an original Jungle Book live action back in I think it was 1994 or something like that,
Something in the
where
90s,
Mowgli actually goes to the city and then he comes back. It's almost like your little Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen.
I was just gonna bring up George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle.
But the animals don't talk. I don't believe I don't remember if they talk or not. But it's just something completely different. If they're gonna use the same characters, give me a new story. That's all I want. Now, that can also be taken care of with the Halloween reboot because they did give us a completely different story until he became adult Michael Myers. Then they did a shot-for-shot remake of the original movie.
That's why this thing is such a huge debate.
But originally, they made it so that his stepdad was an ass, and that his mom was a stripper.
I remember that, yeah.
And that the only thing that he liked to do was kill little animals. Couldn't stand that aspect. I think it's much more scary that one night he just decided that he was going to snap and kill his sister. That's scary.
Stepfather
Well, no, he didn't kill his stepfather in the original.
in the Rob Zombie one. Though.
Well, yeah,
No, we're talking about the Rob.
in the original when he just decided, I don't like her anymore, I'm going to kill her.
Oh yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's where it starts, because he's just a psychopath. There's nothing there except for death.
See, the only one I want to see is Frankenstein reboot.
I never want to see a Frankenstein reboot. I will never see.
Why?
The original is way too good.
I know
and
that, but like,
there's no reason to try to make it, because they tried with Victor Frankenstein. They tried to make it
I
darker.
don't remember that one.
It was with Daniel Radcliffe and
that's
somebody
why.
else.
Oh yeah.
And they tried really hard, and it was awful.
You know what I kind of want to see a remake of? Hunchback of Notre Dame, and keep it more towards Victor Hugo's book.
I could probably get behind that.
Because
Yeah.
they had to make it a little more kid friendly.
That was a very underrated Disney movie, by the way.
It's such a
But the thing is, they can't go to Notre Dame right now.
shush.
I didn't mean to laugh.
They don't
Wow.
always have to film on site.
Dark.
They don't. I didn't mean to laugh either.
It's
because that was
Sorry,
sad.
but like,
That
Very good
might be
They
architecture.
can't.
even if it
you
was,
know?
even if they could, that still might be a little out of Disney's budget.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
they'd
But
have to. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
sorry.
but like, it would be nice for him
Yeah.
to actually do that and go there, you know?
Denver.
What if they reboot all the Avengers movies?
Shoot me
I
now.
can't think of that.
Shoot me.
Wow, Mike, that was
But
amazing.
you guys have to seriously think of that, because they already were talking about doing stuff with Pirates of the Caribbean when it just, like, it's
Oh,
not
it-
even how much,
They
I don't
were
know
hot.
what's going to happen with that, but what if they do that?
The thing is with the Avengers movies, because just like any other superhero movie, eventually there's going to be reboots.
I don't want them to do that.
There's no, it does, but I mean, look at what happened with the Superman movies. The first two
Everything's crap.
Christopher Reeves movies were very good.
Yeah, that's what I
With,
mean. They don't have anything good anymore.
With that, and then they did 3 and
Man of
4,
Steel?
which were bad, and then
I like Superman Returns better.
I hate Superman Returns.
Yeah.
Superman
I
Returns
liked it better than Man of Steel.
I think Man of Steel was a lot better.
What?
High five, Man of Steel's awesome.
I'll agree with you there.
Except for the part when they destroyed the city, because that was stupid. But
Yeah.
I have my own reasons behind stuff, but whatever.
it's they're already planning on rebooting Superman again.
Don't you
But don't
dare.
make it all dark and like what they're doing with Batman.
No, that's why people
That's
don't
what
like
my
That's
thing
what they're doing
is.
with the DC universe. Is that all their movies
I know.
are kind of dark.
The closest thing that we got to Superman was Shazam. Literally, that's the closest thing that we got to Superman.
Because I don't like when they make, like, Superman's not supposed to be dark when they keep redoing this stuff, and it's basically like you're making it look like the Kent farmlands. You have a freaking tornado gonna roll in every 2 seconds. That's not, it's the dark, it's the color that they're filming and everything. I guess that's what my
It's the
problem
color
is too.
scheme.
Yes, and they like want to
Superman-
do it in Batman's world.
Just like any other superhero, there will always be another reboot.
Yeah.
Look at the X-Men; they just got rebooted 3 times.
Spider-Man.
Wait till we get to that.
How many times do we gotta teach you this
Okay, so
lesson,
guys,
old
we're
man?
actually gonna wrap this up so we can get to our other discussions.
We'll have another discussion about this though, because there's a lot of
Because
stuff.
there's too much. We'll return to this because there's too much to talk about. Anyway, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Tell us how you feel about reboots in the comments.
Because maybe I wanted to bring in comments you guys actually wrote, but I couldn't find them. So we want to have more of a discussion with you, your guys' stuff. But anyway, can't talk more. Bye.
Bye.